you can put at the top. Face or vase. This is number 1. I was thinking 10 would be a good number to practice doing something like this because you're going to have to do it a few times. So as you could see in the examples, what I had when I shared on the Google Images, there was 2 sides to the drawing, and that represents the left and the right side of your brain. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start doing this right-handed. For the first 5, I'm going to do this right-handed, and then I'm going to actually switch, and I'm going to use my left hand, and I'm going to practice with my left hand, which is not something I usually do. And trust, I know that it's going to be hard, and it's probably going to challenge you a lot, just like it'll challenge me. Plus, it's early in the morning, and like, you know, you do need time to wake up. So anyways, you are going to start by, you are going to imagine the face in your head. And actually, let me write the directions here. As you start to do this, the best way to do this is in your head, repeat the different features that you're drawing. And you have about 5 main features. So in your head, as you start to do this, you don't need to write this, I'm just demoing now. When you start drawing, you're gonna say forehead, because if you look at the profile, that's the first thing that you draw is your forehead. Then you're gonna say nose, because that's the next thing that you're drawing, right? Then you're gonna get to upper lip, lower lip, chin, and then neck. I was gonna say chest, but it's not. It's actually your neck. So you have basically, they say it's only 5 features because I guess they count the upper lip and the lower lip as like one feature being like your lips, but when you're drawing, you actually have to define that. So I'm gonna count it as 2 features. But basically, I'm gonna demo the 1/2 on this, paper, and then I'm gonna switch to a new because this is it's gonna get really narrow. But anyways, what you wanna do, so you can see, there's 2 parts to this exercise. The first part is just practicing drawing the line to create the outline of the profile of the person. The second part is going to be trying to attempt to copy what you did visually. So don't freak out. This is hard. I know it's before 9 o'clock, or it's a little after 9. We're sleepy. I'm with you. So basically this, so you start going forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and then neck. And hopefully that looks somewhat like the profile of a person. Okay, cool. That was nice. Yeah, and I'm gonna see all of some of you might find this easy, some of you might find this hard. This is not the hard part. The hard part is copying what you did on the other side, to get it to be reflective, to get that repeated perspective. So anyways, I know this is gonna be a little hard for you to see because my thing is not like really huge. But basically, you're gonna go on the other side, and this actually kind of seems like it'd be easier if I did it with my left hand because I could see what I'm doing more. But I'm gonna copy forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and neck. So I know it's like a little confusing because I have the words in the middle, but essentially this is what we're doing. You're creating the profile of a person on each side and then leaving the center, and that creates like your vase shape. Like essentially that's my vase in the center, and those are my 2 profiles. So I'm gonna do that again. And if you're not already doing this, you can go ahead and attempt to start doing this. But let's, I was gonna say let's do 10. I'm using let me hold this up here. I'm using a whole sheet of paper. I think it's beneficial to use a whole sheet of paper because then you're practicing using your hand more and like copying something that's bigger. If you copy something that's super tiny, I'm not saying that's not valuable, but you're not going to get as much benefit. So I would like for the whole paper to be used if you have that available. Obviously, if you're using a little notebook or something, that also is fine. If you are using a smaller notebook, perhaps you can do something like color in the middle of the vase, to give it more like pop. But anyways, let me actually make a piece of paper a little bit smaller so you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, so this is a smaller piece of paper. This is really just so you all can see what I'm doing better. There we go. All right, so again, I'm just gonna continue to demo. I don't love that there's no contrast for you to see what I'm doing because I'm working on a white table. So 1 second, I'm going to grab something to give it some contrast. There you go. Okay, hopefully you can see that better. I'd really like for this to focus, that'd be great. All right, anyways. So same thing, you just start at the top, and the first time it's not gonna be amazing. You might be like, wow, like I'm not even awake or anything. But as you do this, don't try to make the same profile, like don't perfect your profile, try to make different profiles so that you get different, faces and different vases. So I'm gonna try this again. Forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. So this is someone who has a really big forehead. Okay, I know the struggle that happened. Like I fell on my head in elementary school, so I had a big forehead for a while. And then same thing, but you're gonna practice on the other side. And if you're, depending on what your dominant hand is, if you're right-handed or left-handed, it's going to obstruct like what you're trying to see here. So that's part of the challenge too, is like knowing what you drew and then trying to recreate it while kind of having it cut off. There's lots of different strategies for this. You could probably start from the bottom and go neck, chin, lower lip, upper lip, nose, forehead. You're the artist, you're problem solving. However you get it to look symmetrical is what you're trying to do. So what you're basically training your brain. So forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. So what you're doing is you're training your eye to your hand, to the left, to the right side of your brain. If that sounded overwhelming and complicated, it's because it kind of is. So anyways, you can see that like when I tried to copy it, I made it more curvy, not as like angular. So anyways, I think that this is actually the perfect size, folding a piece of copy paper in half. So you can do that and then use it 4 times. Sorry I told you to get 10 pieces of paper. You really aren't going to need 10 pieces of paper unless you want to do it. I said I was going to do the first 5 with my right hand, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to embarrass myself and switch over to my left hand, which I am not a lefty. So hopefully this is going to make you feel better about your left or your right hand. So here we go. This is my left hand, my non-dominant hand. And yes, I want you to practice with your non-dominant hand. It's going to help you. And like I said, this isn't even something that I do all the time, but it can help you to develop. So anyways, forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and neck. So he's got a really like kind of flat face because like the forehead is almost in line with the nose. So either this person has a flat forehead or like a big nose that's very like pointy. Anyways, now I'm facing the other issue of practicing this with my left hand, but basically forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and neck. Okay, actually, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. And the nose, I think, came out better on, it came out better because it's more realistic, but it didn't come out better because, like, this is more pointy than this one. And obviously, you're trying to, like, match it up completely. So anyways, I'm going to give you all, like, 5 minutes to try to do hopefully you're already doing some faces, but take 5 minutes, do this. I'm going to continue to also do this and try to get more of my features more defined, more, what's the word? Just more individualized. Like I want to try to develop these features, that's what makes us special and human, that we all have different profiles and feature shapes. So don't just try to get the features, try to make them, stylistic, like try to get the profile of the person or the shape of your vase to look like what you want it to look like. I didn't instruct you all to think about how would you want a vase to look. because it's easier to think about it in terms of the face and then see what type of vase shape was created after. But 5 minutes, go. I would like at 9:30, like after the 5 minutes and when I finish wrapping up this demo, for us to turn on our cameras and share our best face vase. And then, you know, it's super good. I didn't say this, but you should do this. It's really good to say, you know, to write yourself some notes, like not only, okay, today is the 14th, so always label your work, you know, whatever. This is second period. This was my attempt number 3, I think. So it's good for you to label like your stuff. So just label at the bottom of the vase or on the back or whatever, and cool. Let's just face. I'm going to, this was my second attempt. This was my left hand, I think. And the 14th. Always good to practice, see where you came from. All right, I'm just gonna fold these the other way and continue to practice, even though you can see that a little bit. And please experiment with other types of, you know, writing utensils. Like maybe this is easier for you to do with pencil and you want to do some erasing and correcting. Maybe you want to do this with marker and make it a little bit more exciting. I will tell you that after you've done 10, I'm going to tell you to choose your best, and I'm going to demo how to like develop it a little bit more to make it more artistic, less like exercising. All right. This one's not my best work. But that's okay. It doesn't need to be your best. It's all about just trying. So anyways, I know I said to do 10, so I'm going to just do a few more. Hopefully you all are on the other side practicing. I'd like to wrap this up by 9:30, finish showing you how to develop your favorite vase face and how to tell you how to submit your work and any like comments, feedbacks, questions, concerns you have. This one I was trying to be creative with like the extra chin. It reminds me of like Handsome Squidward.
So I'm just gonna do 2 more. I think one with my right hand, one with my left hand. Well, how many did I do? I did 6. Well, no, let's see what happens.
I'm kind of switching back and forth between my right and left hand. Like, I don't know, I'm just well. Um, I'm having a little bit of an issue, and it's just an annoying issue that when I draw, it seems on the looser side of the paper, my paper starts to wrinkle and it obstructs my ability to do a continuous line. So, I mean, best artist practice would be taping your paper down to like your surface or whatever, but obviously I'm not going to make you do that, and that's a whole extra step for each drawing, especially something that's so quick and simple as this. So just work with what you got, and don't, like, don't beat yourself up if, like, you know. Cool. I'm going to do 2 more, and then we're going to gather, hopefully share some of our process, and show you how to do, how to develop one of your exercises into like a more formal drawing. I'm going to do 1 more left hand, and I'm going to do 1 more right hand. So again, forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. Forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. This is my last left hand. And my last right hand. Hey, Matt. Hey, Mel. We're doing the face base exercise. So I'm demoing this 1 more time, and then we're going to recap. So it's a good moment to jump in. Demo. So I'm going to try really hard. So forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. Forehead, see, this is what I mean by my papers. Nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck. Despite it being my last one, not sure this was my best, but that's okay. Yeah, I was trying to do a bigger nose just to, like, because I was like, why does this not look superhuman like every time I do this? And I think it has something to do with the proportion of the forehead and the nose that I'm doing. But we're not talking about proportion here. We're talking about left and right brain, and like practicing your hand-eye coordination, literally, like with drawing. So this is my 10th, the last one of first period, and that was it. I don't need to put I don't need to put that this is done with my right hand, because normally I draw with my right hand. So If it feels awkward or something, it means something's being developed. Of course, there's a fine line there. Like, you know, obviously, if you're feeling awkward in a dangerous situation or something, that's you don't want to be in that situation. But if it's something like drawing that's making you feel awkward, you know, in some ways, it's going to help you work some things out. Like even the way I hold the writing utensil in my left hand just feels so awkward. And if you want to write down notes about how this exercise makes you feel, if it challenges you, if it's like easy and it's giving you confidence, that's awesome. I'm kind of running into an issue here because my hand is right up against my support for my iPad. So it's making it even tougher to draw a little bit, despite I'm already doing this with my left hand. So, anyways, that looks kind of cool. Like, I could certainly keep going with this with colors, and that's the whole point. Something is so simple can really develop into like just a beautiful art piece, and that's where you have to start is like basics. So, anyways, I'm gonna let you all. Now you only see the face, right? Yeah, it depends on what you emphasize. Like, is it the more details you put into something, the more that is going to attract your attention, because as humans we are into ornamentation, we're into like the extra flashy things. We're basically like birds. We like shiny things, and we like to decorate around us, and like offer things to other creatures. So anyways, those are the two things. Those are the two kind of options. You can go colorful and just color it, or you can go like kind of decorative and more interpretive. It looks almost like a science, what is it, like a science book illustration or something, showing you the different parts of your muscles. But this in no way is accurate to that. It's just what it reminds me of. So anyways, it is 9:45. I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to stay on the call. If you want to talk with me, you want to share your work, you want any help or directions or tips and tricks, I can give you some one-on-one feedback. Don't worry about sending me your picture today of the face vase exercise and your one developed drawing. But I'll let you know that, pretty much at the end of the week, you should be submitting something, and I'll create a Google form or an assignment for that on Teams. But that's basically how it's going to go every week. We're going to practice art during the week and kind of finalize um, a more like developed art piece, by the end of the week or every other week. So you're not going to need to turn in things to me every day, but it is really useful for you to practice every day so that like you are not struggling to practice on your own by the end of the week, unless you were not able to make the live session. If I was in person, if we were in person, this would be a lot easier for me to just go around and like help you and like see that you're, doing exercises and that I could help you. But since we're not in that situation, this is what we're going to do. And it's all going to be photo submission. And we'll talk more about that. So anyways, questions, comments, concerns, you can type them in the chat. You can private message me in the chat. You can remind text me. But anyways, I hope that you at least had a little bit of fun, and like it, you don't need to you are going to turn it in, but you don't need to turn it in today. By the end of the week. So just keep it. Like you always want to keep your work together. Yeah, I hope this helped wake up your brain for the rest of your classes today. And, you found this a little interesting and maybe you encouraged yourself. So that's it. Face. I'm recording just so that I can record what I'm saying, because I am going to post this on YouTube after school today, after I'm done like teaching this lesson to all of my classes, so that if you need to go back and watch it, or you're like, you get kicked out or you have to leave, you can get the information, you know, and you don't have to be live. So that's that. So if you don't want to be on camera, then you can turn your camera off. I don't make you keep it on, but whatever. So, okay, when you're doing this exercise, basically your face has distinct parts that you are going to draw, and you're going to train your brain to draw. So we're drawing a profile of a face, and it doesn't need to be your face. It doesn't need to be any type of face. This is just a practice. But basically you have 6 distinct parts. You have your forehead, you have nose, you have upper lip, lower lip, chin, and then neck. So when you're drawing, you're going to repeat these features in your head to help you draw the shape of the face. So as you start to draw, the first thing you're going to say in your head is forehead, because that's where you're going to start. Then you're going to say nose. Then you're going to say upper lip or top lip, and then lower lip, chin, and neck. So basically this is how it's going to go. And I want to, before I show you this, I want to be clear that this is helping you practice the left and the right side, because the first profile that you create is your right side of your brain. You're creating that from your head and like your own interpretation. When you go to try to copy it on the other side, that is going to be your left brain, because you're observing and you're trying to pay attention to what you did before to recreate it. And some of you might find this easy, some of you might find this challenging, but anyways, here it goes. So forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and neck. So I know it's kind of hard for you to see, but that's the profile I essentially created. And it's interesting to see how your different faces come out. Some of you are going to be really like pointy. Some of them are going to be really round. You can make certain features bigger or smaller. You know, this is all about personal expression and just practicing. Now what you want to do is you're going to want to try to do the same thing that you just did here, but on the other side. And I think this is the harder part, because your hand is going to block off part of what you did, and you have to trace with your eyes the line that you made to, you know, recreate it. So essentially you do the same thing, but on the other side. I'm right-handed, so I'm starting on my right side, and now I'm crossing over to do the other side. So forehead, nose, top lip, lower lip, chin, and neck. So as you can hopefully kind of see here, my nose on this side was a little bit lower, you know, and I generally followed the shape, but it certainly was not exact. And the point is to not like try to be perfect. The point is just to recognize, hey, I'm pretty good at observing and matching up, you know, the position, but not the shape. Or I'm going way too fast, and this is just like, it's a mess, you know, it's a scribble. So you might need to speed up, you might need to slow down, whatever. So basically what we're going to do is we're all going to do this 10 times, and you can use a full sheet of copy paper, but what I have found that works pretty well is a good size is folding the copy paper in half. That way you can use it 4 times. You of course can do this in your sketchbook. You can do it the whole size of a copy paper, but I think the half size is pretty fine. Anything smaller than that, it's going to be a little bit harder to, you know, see how you're doing this. So anyways, I'm going to demo one more time, give you some more pointers, and then we'll work like on our own for like 10 minutes doing this. So again, you know, you can start right at the corner. You can start a little bit down. Maybe your face is very thin. You know, I encourage you to experiment with different ways to do this, you know, making the different parts of the faces more exaggerated, whatever. So forehead, nose, top lip, bottom lip, chin, neck. You know, so I tried to make the person's chin bigger, like more defined. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this is where, even for me, my brain starts to like, you know, explode, it feels like, because I'm like, what side of the line am I on? You know, So it's, again, it's a practice. You might be sleepy, whatever, understand I've been doing this 50 times since yesterday. So like, don't be like, oh, wow, like, I'm really bad at this. Just keep trying. Forehead, nose, top lip, bottom lip, chin, and neck. So, okay, that was pretty decent. That's pretty good. So also I would love for you to, and it's really good for you, to label your art. So this was like my attempt number 2. Here's the date. And I totally want you to try your non-dominant hand. So between like 5 and 7, you can do with your dominant hand. And then between 3 and 5, use your not dominant hand, because that is really what helps you to develop the left and right side of your brain. And believe me, it's super awkward for me. I'm a righty, so I'm going to try this with my left hand. I'm going to start on the left side of the paper now. Like, I can barely even hold this. Like, it just doesn't even feel right to me. So forehead, nose, top lip, bottom lip, and chin and neck. And then same thing, forehead, nose, top lip, bottom lip, chin, and neck. And as you can see, I had more issues with this one because it's my non-dominant hand, but you might surprise yourself, and that's why we're doing this. It's just different for everyone. So write down your attempt. Write down if it was with your dominant or not dominant. If it's with your not dominant hand, you can just write that. If it's with your dominant hand, you don't need to write that because that's like normal for you. So we're going to do this 10 times. And so at 11:30, I'll tell you about the second part of the project to enhance our art skills.
So you have to draw like with markers or what? Or whatever I want?
Whatever you want. I am demoing in marker because I know it's easier for you to see on the video, but you can use pencil, you can use pen, here's an example that I just, pencil and, well, that's marker, but it doesn't need to be marker. This whole thing could be done in pen, so whatever you have. Like, I just know that for some people, color is exciting, so I'm not, I'm going to allow you to use color if you want to.
Oh, so you want us to color both or only one?
You color your top 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because when you do this, initially you might be like, oh, wow, that came out like pretty good. Like, I'm proud of myself. And then once you like look away from it for a little bit and then you come back to it, you're like, actually, there's a lot of mistakes here. And, we become our own worst critic, so it's just a good exercise to see not only how in tune your left and right brain is, but also, how much you support yourself or how much, you beat yourself up over something that is situational and is can be really challenging. So anyways, do type any questions you have in the chat, or you can private send me a chat, or you can come off mic and ask a question, but I'm going to play some music and just, you can vibe for like 10 minutes and do 10 of these exercises before you pick your top 2.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Deacon?
This is supposed to be done in kind of one fluid line, you know, like one motion. I didn't get into line, but essentially like that's part of the practice is going with that one our creative thought in the one line. I'm not saying, you know, in art, it's unacceptable to go back and like adjust something or erase it, you know, if you're using pencil. But the point of this exercise is to get you in like the creative state of mind of just flowing with it and not so much thinking about what you're doing, but just doing it. It's the balance, right? You got to think about it, but you also have to do it. And until you get more confident with decision making and just doing it, this is a good way to build your skills. So anyways, I have all of my examples here. I did some in pen, I did some in colors and markers. I think color makes everything more interesting, but there are certainly tons of artists who only work in black and white, and there's just absolutely nothing wrong with that.
How many do we have to do?
So you're doing 10 exercises like this, and then you're choosing your top 2 to develop more.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to say. All right. So here's some examples that I did. Again, mine are colorful because I like color, but it's not any, you know, you don't need to use color. It's not a requirement for this. But, you know, think about what is something that you would like to see in yourself or see in other people around you. You know, maybe that's a concept that you can think about when you think about what do you want to put inside the people and what do you want to put in the middle. You know, what would you put in the cup? Like if you could fill the cup up with something, you know, what's meaningful to you. Like this, I did water because I was thinking about the beach. You know, here's another one that I did, and that's more like space and like sparkles or whatever, you know, and I did something as simple as doing lines, you know. You can go more like exact with like the people and try to do features, although that's definitely not required, just an idea. And that being said, you don't have to make the people the same. You can make the people different if you want. I know that we're practicing symmetry and like balance, but I just would rather you all be inspired and creative than feel stifled by, you know, a parameter with the artistic part of it after the exercise. This, I just colored rainbow, you know, like I just made the vase in the center rainbow. That's, you know, and then here's an example with just pen. And again, you know, I just kind of define the different parts of the face and the features. This one I did with my dominant hand, and then this one I did with my not dominant hand, which is why it looks looser and more messy. So anyways, choose your top 2, develop it, draw however you are inspired to do so. Even I saw a lot of this, people just kind of adding scribbles or like simple patterns into different parts. And that's pretty much what we're doing. So